Have you ever wondered why the movies and television that are coming out of Hollywood recently have pretty consistently declined in quality over the last few years? So have I. And I think I've found the reason. After years and years of being able to do it correctly, now Hollywood is really bad at telling a traditional hero's journey. And why is that? Well, it's because heroes are supposed to be good. And that's the problem. Just take a cursory glance at the current state of modern politics, and you may have noticed a trend to blur the lines between good and evil. It's really hard to write an engaging story about heroes and villains if you don't also believe in good and evil. Hollywood does not believe in good and evil. There is no greater example of this phenomenon than Amazon's adaptation of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I have read all of the books and I love them. It is my favorite fantasy series of all time. It's a wonderful story about good heroes conquering over evil, a story that Amazon was not interested in telling. For some reason, in Amazon's adaptation of the series, they decided to take every single good character and make them morally evil. And on top of that, they took all of the evil characters and made them good. In case you hadn't already noticed this for yourself, I've broken down each character. In the books, Rand is our main character, and like many hero stories, he is plucked from obscurity and thrust into a world of adventure and danger and evil. But Rand ultimately prevails because of his morals. Rand in the books exudes traditional Christian values. He is chaste. He repeatedly rebuffs the temptations of the evil seductress Lanfear, who works for the devil. He's also constantly rebuffing temptations from other women who are trying to use him for their own personal gains, like Berylane. One of my favorite moments from the books is further on in a moment of weakness. He does have relations with a woman called Aviendha, and he's so ashamed of what he has done, he instantly proposes marriage to her, because he doesn't want to leave her shamed. Rand is a morally good character who never stops fighting against the shadow. He is constantly tried and tested by the forces of evil, trying to convince him to give up, but he never does. So how does the show treat Rand's character? Well, very poorly. First off, he isn't even the main character of the TV show. But that's another problem for another video. Rand in the TV show has no sexual morality. He's banging people left and right, he has no traditional values, and he instantly gives in to the seductions of Lanfear, a servant of the Dark One, a Forsaken as they're called in the books. Not only that, but he's a very violent person in life and in the bedroom. He likes choking Lanfear while they're banging. They also make Rand a cold-blooded murderer. He kills an innocent man in the streets so that he can get a shift change at work. Rand is not a good person. He later gets captured and imprisoned by, actually, the good guys for some reason, and he ends up making a deal with Lanfear to set him free.
I need your help.
I'm in the cell in the Sun Palace. The Amulin's holding me.
Can you get me out or not, Lanfear?
Boss, pussy hat slay.
She then goes on to kill hundreds of people in order to help him escape. Rand falls in love with a servant of the Dark One. Mat, our other main character in the books, is phenomenal. He is the greatest friend of all time, loyal to a fault. He would never betray or abandon his friends. He tries to get himself out of trouble countless times in the series, and he's always brought back to the action by his conscience. In the show, Mat is a thief who constantly abandons his friend at every turn. He just lets them go fight the bad guys by themselves and runs away. On multiple occasions, Moiraine, the show's main character, tells the audience that Mat has darkness inside of him, and if given the choice, he would choose evil.
You know the darkness in him. You know it better than anyone.
What if it's him?
Then I can't let him within 100 leagues of the Dark One. I already know what choice he'd make. And the one thing that we cannot afford is for the dragon to turn to the shadow.
It's bullcrap. He also later goes on to make a deal with Samael, another Forsaken. Mat is literally, by definition, a dark friend. Perrin, the third and final main character, is also fantastic in the books. Throughout the series, he is constantly confronted with a torn psyche, battling between his desire to live in peace, but also fight to defend himself and his friends. He's constantly forced to choose between the axe of destruction and the hammer of creation. His character's a blacksmith. It's a great metaphor. In the books, in a moment of self-defense, he's forced to kill several White Cloaks, and he feels horrible about it. That action and its consequences haunt him for the rest of the series. But how does the show handle Perrin? Abysmally. The show has him kill the White Cloak Jeffrem Bornhalt in cold blood. It's not self-defense. He just walks up and kills the guy because he's upset that a doggy died in an earlier scene. It is absolutely morally evil, and he shows no remorse for doing it. For some reason, the show also has Perrin accidentally kill off his wife and then immediately run off to have an adventure with his friends and forget all about her.
Dewey! Nee! I'm halved! Oh, we should have listened to Paul. Dewey, I'm cutting in half pretty bad.
It's hardly ever brought up again, and in Season 3, he dreams about banging a girl he just met literally a day ago in the place where he killed his wife. And then he confesses his love for her in real life and tries to bang her in the location where he killed his wife. Show Perrin is morally evil. Now we're going to have to speed things up a little bit as we address all of the side characters. Egwene is also turned into a cold-blooded murderer. She also blames Rand for betraying her trust when she broke up with him in the very first episode of the show 3 seasons ago.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for what exactly? For lying to me? For betraying my trust?
We were on a break!
She is not a good person. Nynaeve is also supposed to be a good person, but in the show, she tries to just kill people she's only just met and has no reason for killing.
Where are my friends? Are they alive? I won't ask again.
They're not here. We both know that you won't. Oh, you actually tried to kill me.
Let go of me.
That's attempted murder, and it's played off as a meet cute. She later breaks the Geneva Convention and tortures a captured prisoner. Also, for some reason, she's super bad at healing, which is like her only defining characteristic. But that's a problem for a different video.
That's not how that works.
Relax, I'm a healer.
Now let's get to Moraine. The show decided to make her the main character, despite being more of a Gandalf figure in the books. She's supposed to be a good character, and I love her character in the books. But in the show, she is morally reprehensible. She is also a literal dark friend. She decides to work with Lanfear, one of the Forsaken. She has Lanfear send people after the Emmonsfield Five to try and kill them, just so that she can scare them into doing what she wants. That's an evil thing to do. Moraine is supposed to be their protector, and she literally tries to kill them on multiple occasions. She's willing to sacrifice any of them just to get what she wants. She holds a knife to Rand's throat at the end of season 1 just in case he chooses poorly, and she has to kill him. Her character in the show is the definition of the ends justify the means, which, if you didn't know, is literal Communist Manifesto propaganda. Also something which, if you didn't know, is morally evil. You should read The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen.
What if Lanfear put us here for you to do this? What if those ships are full of innocent people? What if it's not Rand?
I will let 1,000 innocent people die if there's even a chance that he will live. That is what it means to support him. You do understand that.
Moving on to Siuan Sanche, the Amyrlin Seat, who is supposed to be a beacon of good in this world of chaos. But is she good in the show? Heck no. She is evil. All Aes Sedai in the series are supposed to be bound by 3 oaths, which they are literally physically incapable of breaking. The most important ones are that they can't lie and that they can't use the one power as a weapon against someone who isn't a dark friend, unless their lives are put in danger first and then it can be used in self-defense. The third rule is that you're not allowed to use the one power to make weapons, which it doesn't come up as much. Siuan Sanche is the leader of the Aes Sedai, and yet for some reason, she constantly breaks the 3 oaths. She lies and she uses the one power against Rand on multiple occasions and against Lan, and it's completely unprovoked. Like, it's not just something that you shouldn't do in the books, it's something you are physically incapable of doing. If you try doing it, the power will stop you from doing it. That's how powerful the oaths are. But Siuan Sanche breaks them no problem because she's evil. She also, in Season 1, creates a new 4th oath that she makes Moiraine swear on. She makes her swear fealty to the Amyrlin Seat. I guess the showrunners forgot that that is exactly what an evil character does later on in the books. Siuan Sanche is evil. Lan's character in the books is awesome. There's a wonderful scene in the books where he breaks up with his love interest, Nynaeve, because he doesn't want to leave her alone and destitute. She wants to be with him, but he knows that he's destined to die fighting the Shadow in the Blight. So he tells her they can't be together.
I will hate the man you choose. Because he is not me. And I will love him if he makes you smile.
In the show, however, they have sex, and then he tells her that he can't be with her because he's destined to die fighting the Shadow in the Blight. It's a classic hit and run. Lan is morally evil. Min, another great character from the books, in the show is literally a dark friend. She makes a deal with Ishamael, one of the Forsaken, to betray all of her friends. She is working for the Shadow. She's a dark friend. She can also see short visions of people's future. And in Season 3, she willingly sends a guy to his death without giving him a warning or anything. Like, she sees that his character is going to be killed by a person that they're trying to find. And she tells him, hey, you're gonna marry that person. Go and find her. And I thought that they were doing this so that they could then follow him and find the person they were trying to find, but they don't.
Jane Hyder marries that man.
Nah, she kills him.
They stay where they are. They just send the guy to his death and don't use the information to their advantage. It makes no sense. Min is a horrible person. Min is a dark friend. Min is evil. Aviendha, I don't think she's done anything explicitly evil in the show. She's just not a good person. In the books, she's supposed to be rude to Rand, because she's rattled with guilt, and that's why she's being mean to him. And she's mean to him in the show for no reason at all. She just sucks.
He's not one of us.
No thanks to you.
I cannot teach someone unwilling to learn.
So not evil, but not really good either. Elaine hasn't done anything super evil in the show yet, but she does bang Aviendha. That's all I've got for this one. But if you're willing to sleep with someone who's that bad at acting,
I cannot teach someone unwilling to learn.
You probably also have reduced morals in other categories. So I'm just assuming that Elaine is also evil. Morghese, Elaine's mom, awesome in the books. In the show, she's a literal murderer and an oath breaker. And she does it in public. It's insane.
Long live House Chakar and the Lion Throne of Andor.
Dara Bashir in the show is a dark friend for literally no reason.
She sat me down last year and told me she was a dark friend. Told me she wanted me to swear the oaths too.
They just made her a dark friend. She's evil. Alana in the show is a literal predator. She uses her position of power to prey on young girls in school and talk to them about sex.
And let go of all expectations. When we are used to one partner, it can be very difficult to open ourselves up to two.
It's bizarre. Abel Cawthon, one of the most morally virtuous characters from the books, is a deadbeat father and a cheating philanderer. He cheats on his wife in front of the entire town and doesn't care.
Right where the whole town could see him. Prick.
His wife, Natty Cawthon, also a great character in the books, is a deadbeat mother in the show who just doesn't take care of her daughters. And lastly, Tam Althor, a fan favorite from the books. They didn't make him evil in the show, they just made him pathetic. He is a blade master, and in season 1, he loses a fight to one Trolloc. So that's not evil, it's just insulting. But it illustrates that it's not just good and evil, but heroism as a concept that Hollywood no longer believes in. That's all the good characters. I've probably missed some because they've systematically desecrated every single character in the TV show. But not only did they turn all of the good characters evil, they turned the evil characters good. The bad guys go around doing good things. It boggles my mind. Ishamael, one of the Forsaken, a servant of the devil or the Dark One. Turns out he's just a nice guy who goes around saving little girls from the streets. Ishamael also teaches us that the Trollocs themselves are not evil. They're just misunderstood. They're just hungry, rather than the nightmarish hellspawn that they're supposed to be in the books.
You see, it's all right. Come on, you try.
Lanfear is a Forsaken, a servant of Balsamon, and in the TV show, she's just misunderstood. It wasn't her hubris that bored into the Dark One's prison and caused the end of the world. It was her compassion. She was just trying to help disenfranchised people when she opened the Boar. She spends the entire show so far trying to escape the Dark One's hold, trying to become a good person. She works against the Shadow to help the good guys, and falls in love with Rand, and gets Rand to fall in love with her. It's insane! Liandrin, a dark friend of the Black Ajah, one of the main villains of the show so far, is also just misunderstood. Season 2 shows her feeling bad when she thinks that Nynaeve has died during her trials in the Arches.
She trusted you, trusted us, and we got her killed. I hope your conscience never lets you make peace with that. I know mine won't.
This happens just mere hours before Liandrin sells Nynaeve and her friends into slavery. But she's compassionate and complex. She also has a son in the show, even though she says she hates men, and she shows how loving she is to her little boy. It makes no sense. The show turns her into a victim of abuse, and in season 3, she goes around killing pedophiles.
Another child.
Don't touch her. She's mine.
I will.
The villain of the TV show kills pedophiles. If Amazon thinks that that's a bad thing to do, what does that tell you about Amazon? They don't believe in good and evil. And lastly, Elida, another dark friend, doesn't go around making evil machinations. No, she goes around hunting down and killing dark friends. It's bizarre. So they make the good guys bad and the bad guys good because they intentionally want to blur the lines between good and evil. They believe in gray morality. They don't believe in good and evil. The devil's greatest trick was convincing the world that he doesn't exist. Because if the devil doesn't exist, then God doesn't exist. And that means consequences aren't a thing, and morality is subjective. Just take a look at the kind of things that Hollywood supports. You don't have to look very deeply. They celebrate evil and they ridicule good. And that has become ingrained into practically all of our movies and television. They want you to believe the same things. If they say it enough times, people will start believing it. But it is not true. God exists. The devil does too. Good and evil exist. And morality is not subjective. It is an objective truth. And it comes from God. Hollywood doesn't believe in God. And that's why they have become so bad at writing good stories. They don't believe in heroes because they are miserable. Wickedness never was happiness, and misery loves company. So don't fall for their tricks, and please, for the love of all that is holy, don't watch Amazon's adaptation of The Wheel of Time. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.